Welcome to the Conducive Implement Podcast. I'm your host, K Meezy, aka YDK General, aka the Mr. Nobody of ethical, nihilistic, pessimistic opportunism. Y'all know how it is. Just comprehensive development and integral sovereignty. Activation of your authority, of your free will, your free dominion to now take up a space and become a generator, operator, and destroyer of that space by defining that expression in an order. You know what I'm saying? Restriction and expansion. Let's get it. My co-guest right here is my broski. He can introduce himself. Go ahead, Brody. We just gonna call him broski. You know what I'm saying? This is kind of like one of his first times being on the interview. This is somebody I really rock with, you know, that's been in the mud, got out the mud, learning how to, you know, keep his boots clean in the mud, if you get what I'm saying. So that is a form and a representation of the duality between us and the correlation. You know, I'm street smart and book smart at the same time, but I was given the advantage to be able to kind of like work my way around it and be a mastermind, a strategic. Not saying he wasn't strategic or nothing like that, but everybody has their own.
Let me borrow $20 from that.
Everybody has their own advantages and disadvantages. You know what I'm saying? So with this development, if you started with my podcast in season 1, you know this is giving you leverage, knowledge, or knowing the ledge so you can climb onto the ledge, the peak. When you see the peak, you can now see the journey that's ahead of you. There's a destination, but now you have to navigate to that destination, meaning you have to step into your prime, step into your actualization. You know, actualization is the becoming or the became or the destination, because it is what it already is, because it is. Whatever you want is already there. You just now have to gather your resources or to return to your source to reignite. And we're back from that brief intermission, and I'm going to get straight to the point. My uncle had just called me right now, and, you know, asked him what the word of the day was, and he said survival. And then it hit me, because I'm in survival mode, but the thing is, survival mode is not a place for you to stay in. Survival mode is for you to grow in. It's a rites of passage. It's a passage to now take those skills and master them and still be a jack of all trades. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but a jack of all trades is better than a master of one. It's duality in that. But it's time, and it is the time. No matter what you do, everything you do, remember my episode, what was it, 2? Season 2? We are who by what, empowered by how, designed by why. Your destination is your why, your purpose, your reason, your intent. And that intent stays pure when it stays interconnected. He said, my uncle just said that universe love me, love everybody. It's tough love. Sometimes your punishments is not actual moments or experiences. Sometimes your punishments are a developmental stage for you to realize you are getting a free pass. But the only way you get this free pass if you now put in the effort to now do instead of try. To conquer yourself, even when you fall, to get back up, bite the bullet, take the punch, and develop thick skin, a strong jaw. Condition yourself like a motherfucking superhero. Yeah, I said it. Like a motherfucking superhero. But if you become the superhero of your story, you have to realize that the villain of the story is also the hero. There are two sides of one coin. Be centered in the one coin. Center in self. And I'm going to pass it over to Broski real quick, if y'all remember. See what he got to do with his input. It can go any way. It correlates all day, man. Comprehensive development of being a true gangster, which is priorities. Priorities over everything. POE, man.
See, I don't really know what to say for real. Only because of the fact of the matter is, for real, it's just a lot I got on my mind for real.
It is what it
So,
is.
ain't nothing negative, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Shit like, what, my brother about to come home.
That's
After
good.
11 and a half years. I'm hyped. So I'm trying to put things in order, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just gotta figure things out from that point. So once he come home, I can make sure you don't trick yourself up off the streets again.
Mm-hmm.
Because the easiest way to sit there and set yourself up for failure is to not have a foundation once you step foot back onto the land. Because not only has the world changed in many different ways, a lot of people have changed from what you used to know.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, you have to fall back into a certain type of mentality to where you can actually pursue the place that you need to be in. But at the same sense, what you know best is your mind frame of when you locked up. So when you come back on the land, you're going to do what you knew best to do then.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you were locked up inside of that, behind that wall, the only thing you think about is surviving. So it's crazy that he said the word for the day was survival, because the thing is, that's all this world basically is practically made of. Every day you go through a different trial and tribulation that can make you transpire into trying to become something while excelling in certain ways that may make you feel like you're being deteriorated in others.
Mm-hmm.
Because say, for example, you go to job, you work a 9 to 5. Let's just say the job paid $22 an hour. You make 12 hours. You do a 12-hour shift. People like, damn, that's a lot of overtime. I work 5 days a week. Weekends off. That's the time that they think they should party.
Mm-hmm.
So if you work 12 hours in a day, now you only got 12 left. So you sleep for 8. Now you only got 4 left. So what you gonna do for the other 4? 9 times out of 10 you eat, watch a little bit of TV, and you know what I'm saying, from that point, you're gonna try to rest. You know what I'm saying? Just relax your body. Because when you sleep, you may relax your mind, but you don't really feel at ease when you sleep. You feel at ease when, like a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So, in that sense, in what point in your life are you building your financial growth for wealth if you don't have the hours in the day to do it? Because with the 9 to 5, people realize that, yeah, you make a decent amount of money. Yeah, you get to save that money. But, I mean, nowadays in this generation, you're not guaranteed to even see 21, most people.
Mm-mm.
So the thing is, they set it to where they know for a fact that you'll be on your last leg around the time that you finally be able to retire. Because 65 being the age you retire isn't even guaranteed to see 40. So 65, what you basically are indentured servant in some form, if you look at it. You work until they feel they want to let you go and relieve you to be able to say that you worked enough to receive this, you know what I'm saying, gratitude of this little small payment to barely get you by.
And I let you fully get it off and fully put it out before I basically put my input in. That's something I'm learning as well, and it's something that kind of correlates to that. Your input and your output has to be connected in some way. Like he was saying, that 9 to 5, you having 12 hours and then you sleeping for 8 hours, you only have 4 hours left. Like I told y'all before, that 10%, that 10% that's left has to be put in a way that now refuels you to now build upon that 10%. Now that 10% becomes more valued. Just because something has more worth, more digits on top of it, doesn't mean the value of it or the use of it is optimal for the next stage. Like he said, like he was talking about his brother and the survival skills that he developed and that pattern that he has now reformed within himself. He has to be basically the account to make sure his brother stays on track, which is that brotherhood. It's that interconnectedness, having somebody to help you help them while y'all helping each other. It's not so much of compare and contrast, as much of you bringing somebody up because you know the skills that they have is a foundation that can be built upon. It just, the output of that input has to be put back into yourself. You drive your car, right? It got gas, right? You got to refill your car up before you can go anywhere. You know how much gas it takes to get to certain places and whatnot. So do that with yourself. Make it simple. Build with other people. Network with people that you trust. And even network with people that you don't trust. Because the people that you don't trust or would be seen as an enemy or opposition actually reflect the things that you need to integrate with or the darkness that you need to integrate with. Just because I don't like somebody doesn't mean I hate them. I don't need to hate them. Hate is a form of love, a form of admiration. Because it's something about that person that invokes something within me that I feed on, but I feed on it because they're the representation of it. They're the defined expression of what's in me that I can't find. Everything that we do in life is just a representation of who we are and what we are. Do what you say and say what you do. Be strategic, not only with your output, but your input, your intake of life. That 10% in the 4 hours you got, or that 30 minutes before work, listen to a podcast, write in your journal, some shit like that. Listen to some frequencies or something that refuels you. I told y'all passions or y'all creative abilities is not only for the world, but it's for you to give yourself the expression back to yourself, to be able to process your progression within yourself. One thing I've learned that we have no control over anything, not even over ourselves for real. We have flow with ourselves. We have flow, interconnectedness, cooperation with ourselves. When you got to shit because you got to shit, not because you want to shit. Even with me drinking my teas that make me shit, it's because I want to shit. You know what I'm saying? So, as simple as it is, and as complex as it is, you have to be basically diplomatic with life. I'm honest with my downfalls because I use my downfalls to elevate myself. If I take 5 steps forward, now I meet a new restriction. I gotta take 2 steps back to see how I got to that restriction, to see how I got to that point. That roadmap, when you going somewhere and you set the GPS, you look at the GPS
Try to go to 7-Eleven real quick. It's not. It's cool.
to
Go
track
behind
your
him.
process.
Huh?
Get behind him.
Track your process, not your progress. Let other people be the or the medium of your progress. Shit that you build upon or shit that you now integrate with or develop is for other people to see it within you. You don't reward yourself with the validation of others. You reward yourself with the process of the validation within yourself, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Life. needs to be lived. And the only way life can be lived is for you being alive to everything that is in it and not becoming of it.
I ain't noticed.
Let your ego, don't let your ego be hindered and distorted by the illusion of physicality. Your ego is not physical. People say being egotistical is bad. It's not. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. It's the process that creates the progress. But it's dependent on you to understand, to be submission or to be in submission or to submit to its flow, to its authority, to its teaching, to its guidance, to its breaking down for you to build up. Destruction comes before creation. Destruction just means nothing. Deconstructed ions or matter or force that can now be constructed, concept, conceptualized, anchored, actualized, manifested, harvest, planted, sowed, reaped, threaded, designed to become faded. And I'm going to end this episode real quick.
Ain't she back to go 7 or she just came from upstairs?
Authentic development is having an ideal or a concept of yourself. Self-consecration or apotheosis. The reason why in the Bible are the basic instructions before leaving earth, before leaving physicality, is to create an ideal or a form that you define by your actions in your life. Actions are louder than words, but words have a greater effect. You got a tool, and you got a guide, you got a compass. Survival and living. Your mind can show you the ways to survive, and your heart can show you the ways to live. Coherence, balanced self, center self. Be your equation.
If you're going to walk to the store, you're going to walk to the store. What do you want me to do?
And that's all I got for y'all. I love y'all.
I don't